Welcome to my African Boss. My name is Yao Bantu. I've got a young African woman, actually in the original town of Australia, and this is her story. What's your name?
Hi, my name is Chiamaka.
Okay, where is that name from?
It's from Nigeria, from Enugu State, the eastern part of Nigeria.
Eastern part of Nigeria.
Yes.
It's a big country here in Nigeria.
Yeah.
How do you find yourself in a regional town in Australia? Like, how do you find yourself here?
Yeah, I'm currently doing traveling nursing, so working with agency. So I'm based in Perth, in Western Australia, but I thought I'll check out the regional parts of Western Australia, and I thought I'll check out Bunbury.
Oh, so you're actually a traveling nurse?
Yes,
Oh my
agency
God.
nurse.
Oh
yes.
wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
So it means you don't stay in one place, you travel around the country.
Yes.
Oh.
So contract jobs.
Oh wow. And how is that going?
Yeah, really good.
Oh,
You
my
get to
God.
see all parts of the regional side of the states.
Yeah.
Yes.
So is that better rather than having a permanent job?
Pros and cons.
Yeah.
Pros and cons. Yeah.
Anyway, lots of people don't think there's a lot of Africans in Australia. What do you reckon? Is there a lot of Africans in Australia? Well, when I came up here to the regional town, I didn't see many Africans.
Yeah.
And that's why I saw you and I thought, oh, what is she doing here?
Yeah. I feel like there are a lot of Africans now
Yeah.
in Australia because I came here probably about 18 years ago or 16 years ago or something
wow.
like that. Yeah.
So it must have been,
And I started off
quite
with-
little.
Yeah, I was quite young then. So I started off in Queensland, and Queensland, in the town that we arrived at, there were not a lot of Africans. I think we're the only African family actually in the town that we lived in the first time we lived in Australia. So whereas now there's so many Africans, I find, compared to 16 years ago.
As in compared to other races, what you reckon? Are they?
Oh,
are
definitely
they
more
still-
Asians.
Yeah, I know.
Definitely more Asians than Africans.
You know, the stats are really amazing when you look at them. You find that there's actually a very small number of Africans in Australia.
Yeah, I think I'm comparing it to when I first came.
Uh,
There are more now
yeah,
than 16 years ago.
yeah, that's true. Did you come straight from Nigeria to Queensland, or you went somewhere else in
Yeah.
Africa?
I've lived in Zambia and I've lived in Namibia.
Zambia.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Namibia as well.
hmm
Do you remember anything? Because you wouldn't have
A
been.
little bit of life in Namibia because I would have been about 8 years old.
8
So,
years
yeah. So I remember a little bit of them, but more Australia.
So when how old were you when you actually left Nigeria? Do you know?
Probably about three years old.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
So you wouldn't know. I mean, you wouldn't associate your childhood with Nigeria, wouldn't you?
E-
Because
Yes,
you
yes.
never grew up there.
Yes and no, I didn't grow up there, but my parents are Nigerians,
Yeah.
and as the years went on in Australia, I started meeting more Nigerian families.
Yeah.
So, in a way, you still maintain a bit of the culture,
Yeah.
a little bit. But yes, definitely not compared to someone who grew up in Nigeria.
Yeah.
Big difference.
Yeah. I only know Igbo
Oh
from
yeah.
Nigeria.
Yeah.
Actually, the first person that I met on the plane coming into Australia was Nigerian.
Oh, okay.
It's a Nigerian guy.
Yeah.
He had his.
Also, because I know you're from Malawi,
Yeah.
so he came. Was he in Malawi, or you met him in
No,
transit?
I met him on the plane.
Oh, okay.
And actually, I wasn't organized. He was organized.
Yeah.
I didn't have anywhere to go that first day.
Yeah.
He had, and I thought he was gonna take me with him, but he didn't. Anyway, what was your what was your experience like when you landed in Australia as a 10-year-old Nigerian kid?
Yeah. So when I first came to Australia, I think most people, they'll probably notice the difference in skin tones.
Yeah.
But because I had been in Namibia previously,
Yeah.
a lot of in Namibia you have a mixture of white people and dark skinned people. So when I came here, seeing white people was not a shock to me,
Yeah.
but it was more maybe the different accents
Yeah.
and the way they perceived me, because my family were the first Africans in that town, as I mentioned before. Or second, I can't remember now, but they were not. I don't recall seeing any other Africans in that town at the time. So I think the town also was quite curious to know about us and where we're from. And so that was a bit different for me, because in Namibia, the Caucasians there, they were aware of black people. It's not a big shock to them.
Yeah.
So the way I was perceived, I felt quite different.
Yeah.
I started to realize I was a little bit different.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so that was my experience. But they were very welcoming in that town.
Yeah.
They were very good.
So I usually talk about that experience when you first realize that you're quite different from everyone else, isn't it? It sort of hits you like that. So it hit you like when you was 10 years old?
That's when I first started noticing I was different, but I did feel welcome. It was more when I was 13 years old.
Oh,
You
wow.
know, that sort of like
you're a
preteen, teenager
yeah.
range, that you fully start to realize, okay, this is how the world is structured. You don't even understand it fully, but you start to
So
realize that you're a bit different.
So how do you deal with that as like a 13-year-old child? Do you have peers? Do you have friends that you talk to, or do you just internalize it, or do you have a chat with mom or dad, or how is that process when you're that age?
Well, I come from a big family.
Yeah.
So I have 4 siblings and my 2 parents.
Yeah.
So I think I was blessed. I am blessed in that sense, because at least I can talk to them about any way I'm feeling, and then they can be of support to me. So just talking it out.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah.
But I guess the thing is that you won't be talking to say your friends from Nigeria, or because they are there and you're here, they probably won't sort of understand where you're coming from, isn't it?
I have African friends. As I got older, I made more friends.
Yeah.
As you do. So I have more African friends now.
Yeah.
Even in Perth. So they understand where I'm coming from.
Yeah.
But at that age, I will definitely admit, at that age, like I said, there were not many Africans in Australia to begin with, well, at least in that part of Australia. So you just have to lean on your family for support.
Yeah.
And vice versa.
So do you go back to Nigeria for holidays and everything? No.
Yes. Yeah.
And how is that experience? How do you find Nigeria now as compared to when you left?
Well, when I left, I was 3 years old.
Yeah.
But now it's very different. It's very different.
Yeah.
But then I'm speaking of the parts that I have been to. I haven't really experienced the Lagos life.
Wow.
Lagos is a very big city.
Yeah. How
sort
many
of like,
millions
it's
in
sort of like,
Lagos? It's like
I know.
5 million people in Lagos or something.
It's sort of like the modern
Metropolis.
part of Nigeria, and then you have Abuja, the city of Nigeria. So I can't really say I've had the full Nigerian experience. So I can't fully answer that question. But the part I have visited, it's very different culturally. It's very different.
So was there a time where
I love the food though. That's
the
best part.
Yeah, I will talk about the food. So was there when you're growing up as a teenager, did you have jobs? As I know lots of Australian teens go to McDonald's or some checkout places. Did you have a job, one of those jobs?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
I've worked in McDonald's.
Oh, wow.
I've worked in IGA.
How much you get paid?
Oh, that was a long time ago.
It's like $13.
Was it like 13 or something? $13 per hour?
That's pretty good though. That's really good for a 14-year-old or 13-year-old.
Yeah.
No, that's
and it's just good to support you while you're in school and stuff like that.
That is one good thing I find about Western economies, when you're actually able to work as a part-time job on holidays.
Yes.
As a 13-year-old, 14-year-old,
You can get a job and
Yeah.
support and stuff. Yeah.
because I think by the time you're in your late teens, you've got that experience and that maturity. Whereas, yeah, do you reckon?
Yeah, I think so. I think for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
'Cause
It teaches you how to be self-disciplined.
Yeah.
In a sense that, for example, McDonald's, you're working with a team.
Yeah.
So from a very young age, you're working with a team. You have to learn how to manage your time. You learn customer service skills. So yeah, from a young age, you gain some skills quickly.
So and then you went on from working those jobs, and then you went to university. Was that hard for you to get into university or in Australia or?
I feel very, very blessed and lucky because
You're smart.
no.
Yeah, of course.
Well, I feel very blessed and lucky because I came from a family that was willing to support me.
Yeah.
From straight from high school into university, because I know it's not always the case, for a lot of people. So I was able to go straight from high school and into uni. So that wasn't really a challenge. Of course, year 12 was a challenge.
Yeah.
No one can help you there.
Yeah.
But yes, I had the support I needed.
So there's lots of opportunities, isn't it? Like in Australia, for you to go through that route.
Yeah. It's good country. Continents, country.
Yeah, they're big.
A bit of both.
Okay, now can you tell me, as your first experience, maybe have you ever been discriminated against as a teenager? Have you ever experienced that discrimination? Tell me about your possibly the first experience you
yes,
you felt discriminated
let's
against.
think. I feel like I've got to think about this one because there's so many examples that I know. But
Is it?
yeah. But let's start off with appearance because I feel that's the first thing I noticed.
Okay.
When I was 13, because when you're in your teens, you start to find yourself.
Yes.
You start to look at yourself like, okay, I'm changing in this part of my body, etc., etc. So I'll probably say the first thing people commented on was my lips.
You're not alone
and
there. Mine are huge.
Yeah, and but then the funny thing is now that we're much older in this era,
Yeah, people
suddenly everyone's getting lip
lip
injections
fillers.
and lip
So-
fillers and all this stuff,
I know.
and I remember I feel
Wow,
like a
that's
lot
so
of
funny.
yeah, it's very funny, and I feel a lot of especially going to African
And-
girls, and this is a stereotype, not all of us are built this way, but a lot of us have like
Full
generally big backsides or whatever,
Yeah,
or full figures, and
Well,
and I remember feeling much older when I
Yeah.
was 15 because my appearance, my structure was more defined or whatever. I don't know what term to use
Yeah.
compared to a lot of girls my age.
Caucasians, yeah,
You
'cause
know,
they're quite
But-
skinny at that time,
yes.
isn't it? Really straight and
yeah,
tiny.
but if I'm to be compared to other African girls my age, I would have been perfectly normal.
yeah.
So I started to notice those differences, and people would make comments.
Oh, wow.
But it's all good now
yeah.
because people are paying for this kind of things. So it doesn't really matter at the end of the day.
Did that affect you at all, growing up?
I used to think my lips were big, to be honest,
But
because that's what I heard. But now that I'm older,
No, they're
I'm
not,
I'm
actually.
fully embracing it.
yeah, they're not
So-
even that big.
I know.
Mine are. So that never affected you in any way. Okay.
Well, it made me self-conscious.
Yeah, self-conscious.
I'm definitely my skin tone as well.
Yeah.
But now that I'm older, I'm fully embracing it because I know people are also paying
Yeah,
to
they get a
achieve
ton, isn't it?
to achieve those goals.
Oh wow. How about when you're older and you get to the workplace? What are your experiences? Do you feel? How is the Australian workplace like? Do you feel that you get picked on, or is it more? Do you feel you have to prove yourself more than
Oh,
the
100%.
average?
100%, I think so.
Oh yeah.
I definitely feel that way. I would say I didn't notice it too much when I was in
Yeah.
high school
Yeah.
and working jobs, like McDonald's or
Because
I
they're all
worked
kids, eh?
Red Rooster, yeah. And at that age as well, I have to say, in the teenage phase, people make comments, but it's not as detrimental to us because a lot of teenagers, they're still quite innocent in a way. Like they don't discriminate too much.
No,
At that
yeah,
age,
true.
like your fellow mates.
Mm.
But I'll definitely say at university, that's when you start meeting people that are older than you.
Yeah.
There's definitely more discrimination. For me, anyway, I felt there was more discrimination because, when I was working in McDonald's, I didn't feel like I had to work extra hard or
No.
prove myself too much.
Wow.
But when I was in nursing school
See,
and doing my practicals, that's when I felt like I definitely noticed I was treated differently. I don't know if it was because I was in the clinical environment,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I felt like people were not expecting me to be as knowledgeable.
Yeah.
So I feel like I had to work extra hard to prove myself,
Yeah. It's a very common theme with Africans
Yeah.
in outside the countries, or especially in the Western world, that that you have to work 3 times as hard,
Yes.
for the same effort that the average, say, Australian is doing because of the environment you're in.
Yeah.
But you get around that, isn't it? You learn to accept that.
You learn to accept it, and once you accept it, then you can think of ways to work around it.
I've got the same experience, that there are other things that the sooner you accept them, the better. 'Cause,
Yeah.
you actually.
You can't be in denial. You cannot be in denial.
Yeah, because now and again you're reminded, isn't it?
Yes.
Of that sort of experience, and you just have to learn how to deal with it.
Yeah.
Wow. So you learned how to deal with that. That's pretty. That's a point, because I really think that's deep. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like for people that go outside the country, you don't have that idea till you get there. That you're sort of gonna get to that point, isn't it?
Yes.
Whereas home,
I think definitely nowadays, luckily there are a lot of Africans now in the
Yeah.
diaspora.
Yeah.
So I think definitely if someone is thinking of coming, to Australia or the UK or America, they should try and look for a mentor. I think you mentioned that before, didn't you? Yeah. 100%.
Yeah, you have to, isn't it?
Yeah.
And other than that, you find Australia pretty welcoming and
Yeah. Very
lots of good people.
welcoming. Yeah. Good lifestyle.
good lifestyle. Oh wow. Okay, so we move on to your favorite part of the topic, food.
Oh,
Nigerian food.
yes.
I want to know swallow. I don't even know why you call it swallow. Swallow. Which is
What do you call it again in Malawi?
Sima or Sadza in Zimbabwe.
Yeah, I think Namibians or Zambians call it Sima.
In Zambia.
Or in Shima. Or
Shima,
something.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Shima.
But you call it in Sima.
Call it Sima.
Oh. That's interesting.
Yeah. So is that what you?
Yeah, swallow. Swallow all the way.
Okay. Swallow all the way. Yeah. So do you make swallow at home? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else? So what would be your advice for young African girls who want to move to Australia, or who are in Australia as well?
My advice for a lot of young African girls is to have a very strong mindset. You have to have full control of your mind.
Yeah.
So what I mean by that is you can't.
A positive attitude.
You have to grow. You've got to grow a tough skin.
Absolutely.
So you have to
Can't
be
be
able
weak.
to know who you are. You have to know that you're beautiful, you're smart,
Absolutely.
you are intelligent.
Wow.
So once you're able to build a very strong mindset, then nothing people can say will get to you.
Wow.
And you have to have that confidence.
Yeah, that is very, very important. I love that.
Yeah.
I absolutely.
As long
love
as
that.
your mind is with you,
Yeah.
you're good.
I like the fact that you say you gotta have tough skin.
Yeah.
You gotta be positive. You know, because there is no free lunch, isn't it? Even in the Western society.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's tough.
And you have to remember that sometimes when people are picking on certain things to do with you, they're probably envious. And that's the truth.
Yeah.
You heard my story about my lips.
Before I go, how about hair? The big topic. Do you find places where you can do your hair?
Yeah, we have
African
a
hair?
lot of African salons around.
Oh wow! So
Yeah.
there's no problem whatsoever
Nah.
with that. Ah, that's
That's
perfect.
good.
Oh well, thanks, Chi. Thank you for being our first guest.
No
We
problems.
really appreciate it, and thank you for the talk and all the best.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
No worries. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Peace.